Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. I'm Utsaf Parekh and I'll take you through the top 50 stories of the day. Starting with the war on Hamas, a 4-day ceasefire began this morning between Israel and Hamas. It marks the first truce in the 7-week-long war. This comes a day later than originally announced. Mediators in Qatar announced that 13 hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th, 13 Israeli women and children, will be released later today. It's expected that Palestinians held in Israeli jails will also be released. The Israeli army has said that it found a Hamas base in Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. They've released a new video. It claims to show weapons, tunnel shafts and missiles in the area. The Israeli soldiers say they found a tunnel shaft in a mosque and missiles of different sizes. Former British PM and current Foreign Secretary David Cameron met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem yesterday. During their talks, he recognized the importance of a pause in the fighting. Cameron called it an opportunity to crucially get the hostages out and to get aid into Gaza. Earlier in the day, he visited Israel's kibbutz Be'eri. Be'eri was one of the communities most affected by the October 7th attack by Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accused the United Nations for being slow to attend to the spiraling humanitarian crisis in Gaza. He said Israel was doing everything in its power to avoid harming civilians, but blamed the UN for not doing more. Netanyahu said he had not yet seen the effort that he'd like to from the UN and international agencies. Pro-Palestinian protesters blocked a Thanksgiving Day parade route in New York City yesterday. They sat down in the middle of the street while the parade and its iconic balloons approached. The protesters held Palestinian flags and called for a free Palestine. In other top news, a Qatari court has reportedly accepted an appeal filed by the Indian government. This is against the recent death sentences handed out to former Indian Navy personnel. Last month, 8 former Indian Navy personnel were given death sentences by a Qatari court on espionage charges. India had described the ruling as deeply shocking and had vowed to explore all legal options in the case. Police in Nepal used batons, tear gas and water cannons to scatter thousands of protesters yesterday. The protesters took to the streets to demand the restoration of Nepal's monarchy, which was abolished 15 years ago. The demonstrators say that Nepal's present government has failed to develop the country. Hospitals in northern China are increasing the number of doctors on call. This is to tackle the increase in pneumonia cases in the country, especially in children. The Beijing Children's Hospital claims that respiratory infections this autumn and winter are similar to the past. However, media reports say that the number of incidences is much higher this year. The World Health Organization has asked China for more information. Chinese health authorities say they have not detected any unusual or novel pathogens. 4 people were killed and 5 were wounded due to Russian shelling in Ukraine's southern region of Kherson. This is according to Ukrainian officials in the region. The officials said that Russian forces shelled the town of Berislav. Meanwhile, they added that another round of massive shelling hit the Kherson district. Hungary is against the inclusion of Ukraine into the European Union in wartime. This is according to the Hungarian foreign minister. In a media interview, the FM said that the inclusion of a warring party will further raise tensions in the bloc. He added that now is the perfect time for Russia and Ukraine to hold peace talks, while the global attention is on the Israel-Hamas war. 5 people, including 3 young children, were injured in a knife attack in Ireland's capital, Dublin, yesterday. The reason for the stabbing is not yet known, but the police have said that they are not considering terrorism as a motive. Violent clashes broke out in central Dublin following the incident. A police car and a double-decker bus were set on fire. Argentinian people took to the streets of Buenos Aires yesterday. They were protesting against the proposed policies of the newly elected libertarian president-elect Javier Milei. Milei has pledged a new political era for Argentina. His plans include shutting the country's central bank and ditching the Argentinian peso. Milei is also staunchly anti-abortion, favors looser gun laws, and has vowed to privatize state-controlled companies. New Zealand's National Party has formally signed an agreement to form the country's next coalition government. This follows more than a month-long negotiation over ministerial roles and policies. The coalition revealed a series of policy changes it will undertake in government. This includes narrowing the mandate of the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, or RBNZ. The government will remove the dual mandate on inflation and employment for the RBNZ. The bank will now focus only on price stability for monetary policy decisions. In climate news, authorities in India's capital New Delhi have said that measures to curb pollution will stay in place for the foreseeable future, at least until the city's air quality improves. Authorities are only allowing limited types of vehicles to enter the city. This includes vehicles running on electricity or CNG or BS4 diesel. Delhi officials had also imposed a ban on all construction activity. The air quality in Delhi and nearby areas remains in the hazardous category. UN Secretary-General Antonio Gutteres was in Antarctica yesterday. He was accompanied by Chilean President Gabriel Boric. The visit came ahead of the COP28 summit. The aim of the visit was to raise awareness on climate change. The Chilean president stated that climate change has severely affected the Arctic and Antarctic. Meanwhile, Gutteres said that he will call for action at the COP28 to address the threats faced by Antarctica. 4 Greenpeace protesters jumped into the Parliament's pool in the Netherlands yesterday. They were protesting against the possible appointment of Geert Wilders as Prime Minister of the Netherlands. This is over Wilders' controversial plans. Wilders has previously said he wants to get out of the Paris Climate Agreement. He also wants to slash the budget allocated for climate goals. Icelandic authorities have downgraded the emergency level in the town of Grindavik. This happened after concerns of a volcanic eruption have subsided. The Icelandic Meteorological Office said that the likelihood of a sudden eruption was decreasing daily. Wildfires in Brazil's Pantanal wetlands have severely affected its natural balance. This was reported by the Animal Disaster Rescue Agency. The devastating fires have claimed the lives of thousands of animals, primarily reptiles and amphibians. According to the Brazilian government, the wildfires were brought under control on Wednesday. The people of Yemen have been facing a relentless water crisis due to climate-induced drought. The residents have now turned to traditional techniques of rainwater harvesting to deal with the crisis. Over 10,000 people and livestock now rely on this stored water. With the assistance of NGOs, reservoirs are now being built so that people have access to safe drinking water. Over 56% of the tropical glaciers in Peru have melted over the last 6 decades. This is according to the latest data released by the country's Ministry of Environment yesterday. The report also compared satellite images of the glaciers between 1962 and 2020. The melting ice has created new glacial lakes, which are at risk of overflowing and flooding nearby areas. On to business and tech news now. Terry Gou, the billionaire founder of tech company Foxconn, is reportedly quitting Taiwan's presidential race. This potentially brings an end to Gou's years-long pursuit of Taiwan's most powerful job. Gou's goal of becoming Taiwan's president has faced several obstacles. His campaign faces a probe in Taiwan. This is on suspicion of offering cash payments in exchange for signatures. Meanwhile, Taiwan's 2 main opposition parties have named their vice presidential candidates. This is after their talks on running a joint ticket to take on the ruling party failed. Recession fears loom large for the Eurozone. Data shows that the bloc's economy contracted 0.1% in November. It suggests the union is on track to decline again in the fourth quarter. If that happens, the Eurozone will slip into a technical recession. Kenya's President William Ruto said that the government was poised to privatize 35 state companies. Last month, Ruto signed a law to privatize firms to cut down on bureaucracy. Ruto's privatization plan will be carried out through initial public offerings and share sales at the companies. Western brands like McDonald's and Starbucks are seeing a boycott in Egypt and Jordan. This comes amid the Israel-Hamas war. The brands are being targeted over perceptions of pro-Israeli stances and financial ties. Reports say local supermarkets are seeing an uptick in sales because of the boycotts. Chinese wealth manager Zhongji Enterprise Group has flagged potential concerns of insolvency. The company has told its investors that it has about $64 billion in liabilities. Zhongji has a sizable exposure to China's real estate sector. The latest development threatens to reignite concerns regarding the country's property debt crisis. It's feared that the property crisis may spill over into the financial sector. According to a report, financial firm Barclays is working on plans to save more than $1 billion in costs. It's planning to do so by eliminating about 1,500 to 2,000 jobs. The potential cuts would primarily be at Barclays Execution Services. The division provides technology, operations and functional services to businesses across the group. According to a report, Amazon is set to win unconditional antitrust approval in the European Union. This is for its $1.4 billion acquisition of robot vacuum maker iRobot. Last year, Amazon had proposed to buy iRobot, but the deal has been stuck in regulatory crosshairs. Antitrust enforcers around the world have stepped up scrutiny of big tech acquiring smaller rivals. This is over concerns of anti-competitive practices. Sales of Apple smartphones dropped during China's recent Singles' Day shopping festival. Research shows sales were down 4% during the event. Apple fell behind its Chinese rivals Huawei and Xiaomi. Huawei sales were up 66%, while Xiaomi saw a 28% rise during the Singles' Day shopping event. The Singles' Day is a Chinese unofficial holiday and shopping season that celebrates people who are not in a relationship. India is drawing up rules for governing deepfakes. This is according to India's Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw. Vaishnaw said, and I quote, "We plan to complete drafting the regulations within the next few weeks." The announcement comes a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi raised concerns over the technology. Deepfakes are realistic yet fabricated videos created using artificial intelligence. A Spanish YouTuber is suing Google Spain. This is for wrongful dismissal of their YouTube account. Google Spain blocked his channel from earning advertising revenue in August. The YouTuber has also accused Google of withdrawing money that was already in his YouTube payments account. This case is the first that seeks to demonstrate an employment relationship between Google and YouTubers. India secured a thrilling 2-wicket win over Australia in the first T20 international of the ongoing 5-match series. Skipper Surya Kumar Yadav led from the front, scoring 80 off just 42 balls, chasing a mammoth 209-run target. Surya Kumar Yadav found support in Ishan Kishan, who made 58 off 39 balls. The match, however, went down to the last ball, with India needing 7 to win off the final over. Rinku Singh hit the first ball for 4. Rinku and Akshar Patel ran a leg by on the second ball, but the successive fall of wickets of Akshar Patel and Ravi Bishnoi turned the game into a thriller. With Arshdeep in support and Rinku on strike, India required 1 run to win off the last ball. Rinku Singh hit it for a 6, but then the 6 was not counted. Bowler Sean Abbott had overstepped, so the final run that India needed came from a no ball. Former India cricketer VVS Laxman could take over as the new head coach of the Indian men's cricket team. This comes amid reports of Rahul Dravid not being too keen to continue after India's defeat at the ICC Cricket World Cup final against Australia. VVS Laxman is currently the interim head coach of the team, which is playing against Australia in the 5-match T20 International Series. Former Indian cricketer S. Sreesanth rubbished all allegations of fraud against him, and he said he would go to court to clear his name. This is after police in the Indian state of Kerala filed a case against him. The case is over Sreesanth allegedly extorting 1.8 million rupees in a fraudulent property sale. 15-year-old Anahat Singh scripted history, becoming the youngest title winner at India's senior national squash championships in 23 years. The teenage sensation scored a win against her opponent Tanvi Khanna, who was forced to retire midway through the match due to an injury. 15-year-old Anahat is 12 years younger than Khanna. She lost the opener 9-11 but staged a fight back in the second game. On to tennis now. World number 1 Novak Djokovic leads Serbia into the Davis Cup semi-finals in Malaga, where he will face a third showdown with world number 4 Jannik Sinner in less than 2 weeks. Djokovic beat Cameron Norrie 6-4, 6-4 in 1 hour 41 minutes to give Serbia an unassailable 2-0 lead in the Davis Cup's previous round. In football, the top 2 teams of the Premier League are all set for a major clash. Liverpool head to Manchester City on Saturday, hoping to prove that they are once again genuine title contenders. The Reds have been the City's most consistent challengers during a dominant era for Pep Guardiola's team. Brazilian striker Rodrigo said he received racist messages on social media accounts following an argument with Argentina captain Lionel Messi. This was ahead of the team's World Cup qualifier earlier this week. Brazil's 1-0 loss to Argentina was marred by violence after clashes broke out between police and visiting fans. This was the third consecutive defeat for the 5-time world champions. Argentina forward Angel Di Maria has announced his retirement from international football following next year's Copa America. Di Maria has made 136 appearances for world champions Argentina since his debut in 2008, playing in 4 World Cups and scoring in the 2022 final win over France. He will take part in his 6th Copa America at the 2024 tournament in the United States, where Argentina will bid to successfully defend their continental title. And here's what's brewing in Formula One. Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton has denied claims made by Red Bull team principal Christian Horner about the possibility of him driving for the world champions. Earlier, a report quoted Horner saying that an unnamed person from Hamilton's management team reached out about the possibility of him joining Red Bull as Max Verstappen's teammate. Red Bull says it stands by Horner's claims. In entertainment news, actor-comedian Jamie Foxx has denied all sexual assault claims made against him. His representative said the incident mentioned by the complainant never took place. Foxx now intends to pursue a claim for malicious prosecution. The complainant has sued Jamie Foxx for sexually assaulting her on a rooftop bar in New York in 2015. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of sexual assault by another woman. A California woman has filed a sexual misconduct lawsuit against Combs. She has accused Combs of drugging and sexually assaulting her in the year 1991. The plaintiff claims that the rapper recorded the assault and showed it to his friends. The lawsuit comes days after singer Cassandra Ventura accused Combs of sexually assaulting her for over a decade. Authorities in Rio de Janeiro have launched an investigation against the organizer of Taylor Swift's recent show in the city. The organizers have been accused of endangering life and health of concert-goers. Earlier, a 23-year-old fan fell sick during the concert and later died due to record temperatures in Rio. The authorities, however, say the probe is not linked to the death of the fan. Meanwhile, the organizers of Taylor Swift's Rio concert said they should have been proactive in handling the temperature situation. The chief executive of the entertainment company T4F said they could have taken more actions to help fans cope with the heat. Legendary musician Singo Star has spoken about the AI controversy surrounding the Beatles' latest song, Now and Then. Setting the record straight, Star said artificial intelligence was not used to recreate Lennon's voice for the song. He explained that AI helped them extract Lennon's voice from a lower quality cassette recording. Singer Sir Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and Giles Martin collaborated to finish the last track of the Beatles band. Two players from Netflix's Squid Game, The Challenge, a reality TV show based on the Korean drama series, are threatening to sue the streaming platform over injuries. The players claim that they suffered from hypothermia and nerve damage during the shoot. The complainants seek compensation for their alleged injuries. In an interview, a contestant said that the shooting conditions were absolutely inhumane, with no connection to the series. Pop star Beyoncé dropped a new trailer for her upcoming concert film, Renaissance. The trailer released yesterday at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. The new trailer also showed behind-the-scenes moments from the concert, including the cameo appearance of Megan Thee Stallion and Diana Ross. The film is slated to release on December 1st this year. Actor Daisy Ridley is all pumped up to reprise her role as Rey in a new Star Wars film. She said in an interview that the film is beyond what she expected it to be. Ridley called the story very cool and said the fans will be very excited while watching it. The film's release was delayed due to the twin Hollywood strike and studio delays and will now hit theaters in 2026. In an interview, actor Natalie Portman raised concern over kids working in the entertainment industry. Portman said she does not encourage young people to join the film and TV shows. Natalie Portman, who began her career at the age of 12 with an action film, says she was never harmed, but kids should stay away from showbiz. Portman added that she had heard quite a few horrific stories about kids working in the industry. The British show Doctor Who celebrated its 60th anniversary yesterday. The sci-fi show's first episode aired on November 23, 1963. To mark the occasion, a special water projection show was organised in the capital city of Cardiff in Wales. It featured highlights from the longest-running sci-fi TV show. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
Hello, Namaskar. This is Firstpost and you're watching Vantage with